good luck to, I guess, myself, Karen, and Jeremy, because this one's going to be lights out, man. I'm excited.
Final three. You ready to get to your final immunity challenge?
Do it.
Let's get it, Lauren.
For your final immunity challenge, you will be holding a wall sit for as long as you can.
I knew it was going to be a wall sit. Like, for some reason in my mind, I was like, it's Lauren and it's going to be a wall sit.
If you drop, you are out. Last person left up wins immunity, guarantees themselves a spot in the final two. Final three, immunity challenge. The person that wins this guarantees themselves a spot in the final two where they get to plead their case to the jury. Everyone start getting into position. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone is locked in. You're allowed to have your hands on your knees. However, be mindful. This challenge will get progressively harder the longer it lasts. Austin sinking some. Austin falls, Jeremy falls. Karen wins final three immunity.
Karen, a guaranteed spot, final two.
I knew that wasn't my challenge to win, which sucks because it's the final immunity challenge. So I'm pretty devastated. I'm just hoping that my relationship with Karen is enough to get me through to the very end to plead my case. I'm not ready to be done yet. I want to get to the end. It's pretty unreal. I mean, in the two games that I have played, I had some votes against me. And so to play this game with so far 0 votes is a huge accomplishment and something I can be very proud of. I'm going to say, I've been loyal to you this entire game. It was me, you, and Corey right at the very beginning, and you were someone that I wanted to work with. But I know at the beginning of the game, like, everything was chaotic, and so we really didn't connect until until the merge. But that's pretty much all I can say is I've been loyal to you. I've had your back. I let you know that David was coming after you, and.
What do you think about Austin's game? Like, describe his game to me. Like, why is it a good game? Do you think it's a bad game? Why could he win?
Yeah. I think Austin he's definitely been really quiet, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't really, I don't think he's really pissed off anyone in the jury. I lied to David, told him I was going to stick with our 3 pact, and I didn't. Phill, I feel like I turned on him. And I don't think that Austin has really done that.
I'm feeling nervous either way because of the fact of Karen basically let me know that that wall sit, she barely had to try. And I felt like I put my heart and soul into everything, and I just got splinters in my butt. So I am, again, I'm very shocked that I even made it this far. And that's not a knock on I've just never done something like this. So I will say that I told Karen the same thing that I'll tell you, is that I know that she'll make the right decision what's in her mind, whether that is myself or Jeremy. So yeah, I'm a little nervous. I would have hated to got this far just to get the last seat on the jury. So props to her for the win, though. Here we are. Number one in a place I think I would have never been in, honestly, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that the three of us have played, you, Jeremy, and myself, I know it's going to be really hard to pick this. One thing is that I'll say, despite of what certain members of the current jury have said, there has never been a moment where I didn't back you. There has never been a moment where I've been like, when someone has called your name, I've been like, do we want to maybe consider another option? And there hasn't been a moment where I felt like I couldn't trust you as a player. And that's a special bond that I believe like the final two should share, is unwilling like devotion to making it to the end. So where I do not excel in wall sits, I do. I have excelled on getting here virtually in craziness. And it's nothing against Jeremy either. Like, the kid has played an amazing game, and we've both done phenomenal. In the end, you know, your decision is your decision. But I will say that out of all of the people in this game, I have not felt more comfortable in trusting someone than you.
Austin has been on the bottom. He's received a lot of votes. And I'm concerned about the type of argument he can make, that he received so many votes. He got me to go to rocks for him. He'll say more than once, even though I flipped on the first vote and Phill flipped, so it was a tie. But he'll say that I went to rocks for him twice. And to convince people to go to rocks for you more than once or even at all is impressive to me. And to be on the bottom and still find a way to make it through, I think is a good argument. Whereas Jeremy, I think, has played a similar game to me. So while it might be more even, I'm concerned about Austin's argument, I guess. I don't know. And I could be wrong. I could be making a stupid decision or whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm fine with second place, but I would like first. But
Karen, you win the final immunity challenge, which guarantees your spot in the final two, where you get to plead your case to the jury. How are you feeling right now, knowing that you have to make a super tough decision and you have to decide who you are taking with you to the end?
I mean, I'm super excited because I suck at these games and finally I made it somewhere. But, well, whatever. I don't know, I'm excited, but I think I finally listened to myself, which is a long time coming, I think. Ryan, I love the view. But yeah, I mean, everybody's been great. It's been really fun, actually. And honestly, like, even if I would have gotten voted out earlier, this is like the first game that I played that I felt good about. Like, I felt good about everybody in it. And if I had gotten voted out earlier, I would have not been all mad about it. I don't know. It's just been different for me in that way. And it's been nice.
So, talk about Jeremy and Austin here. What went into your thought process in order to decide who you're taking with you?
Of course, it's who do I think I have a better chance of like winning against, but I feel like even saying that sounds a little cocky, like, oh, I can win against this person because of this. But I mean, they're both great players, and it just comes down to who I think can make a better argument against me. And I don't know. I think that, I mean, they're both great. Everybody's been fun to play with, and we've been on the same tribe the whole game. So, and I'm glad to like play in a game. I think it's interesting to play in a game where I have like pre-existing relationships with people, but I made it to the end with people who I didn't necessarily talk to a lot before this game or at all. Like I didn't know Austin at all, but we made it work.
Here we are.
Yeah. Austin, Jeremy, do you guys have anything else to say before the vote?
Jeremy, I'll let you go first.
All right.
If you have anything.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to say, congrats again to Karen. That was an amazing final immunity challenge win. I think, we kind of talked earlier, but I'm just gonna pitch it again. I've burned a lot of people sitting on that jury. And so I know a lot of people sitting over there are really ticked off at me. And Austin over here, he's played a great game. He's played a really good quiet game, which is sometimes it can help out a lot. I know the decision's up to you. No hard feelings, whichever way you go. And it's been great playing with you guys.
As we sit here, waiting for Karen to make the decision, as I'm now still picking splinters out of my butt from the wall sit. I want to say this has been amazing. Before I got on, I thought I was going to have a terrible time, honestly. And maybe it's because I've watched 2 episodes of Survivor ever. So I did not think with that pedigree that I was going to make it far at all. I love the people that were in this for the jury. Jeremy's right. Some bridges were burned, and that's obviously a factor to play in, especially when, my name was called on numerous occasions, and I somehow, like a roach, survived. Not to talk bad about the cockroach, but overall, this has been eye-opening. This has been fun, and whoever you choose is the right decision. I'm obviously going to be super mad at you and not talk to you after this if you don't pick me. So, but no, this has been great, and I'm happy that we were able to keep our trio to the end, like I said, like we promised at the beginning. So, I'm very thankful for that, and I'll start flapping my jaw, and I'll let you make your decision, Karen.
All right. With that, it is time to vote.
It might not even matter. Like, I could lose in both of these scenarios, but I'm just going with my gut on this, and hopefully I don't get second.
The last member of our jury. Austin.
Good game, guys.
Good game, Austin.
You are
Well, here we are. How many hours later? Really, really surprised in my first attempt at one of these that I got to the final 3. Am I, mad, regretful, angry at the decision? Of course not. This was by far one of the most fun times I've had, and one of the most nerve-wracking times I can definitely say. I definitely feel like I brought some sort of panache and style to this, and there's really not much else to say. I wish the 2 the best in the finals, and and with that, I will take off my bandana.
Karen, Jeremy, you've made it as far as you can in this game. The power now shifts to the jury, people that you had a hand directly or indirectly voting out of this game. Jury, you will have an opportunity to address both Jeremy and Karen. Please be mindful that you can make one comment to each of them or one statement to each of them. We want to keep this as brief as we possibly can. So please refrain as much as possible from talking about necessarily your own game and more so focus on Karen and Jeremy's game. Okay? So with that, we're going to start with opening statements. Jeremy, you can go first.
All right. Hello, jury. I think I just want to say, I know probably a lot of you guys have questions for me regarding the game, kind of how my votes went. And so I welcome any sort of questions. I think I played a really good game and a very different game than I've played in previous seasons. This time I couldn't stay quiet. And so I had to make a lot of quick and concise decisions at correct times to make sure that the people who I wanted to go home went home. And I think my game evolved from beginning to end. And I'm happy to answer anything you guys have.
Thanks, Jeremy. Karen?
Well, thank you guys for all not voting me out, number one. I felt like I did have a target on my back coming into this. Not that that I've performed well in other games, but more so since it's like 12 people and I don't suck at challenges. So I thought that it could be a problem potentially for me, which has been a problem in other games for me because I have won challenges, and honestly, I tried not to win immunity challenges on this. Obviously, I tried for the team, but I thought if I won immunity challenges, then it would be bad for my game because it would put eyes on me. So a lot of the decisions I made was like partly to keep eyes off of me, and it worked. Yeah, but I saw that there was like a lot of conflict between certain people, like Corey and Ryan, and Austin was constantly in the crosshairs. So like even at the beginning, like with Dan, I told Dan, I was like, oh, Nick and Austin want to vote for you or whatever, because like anything I could do to get eyes off of me and have you guys eat each other, like go for it. Like that's what I wanted, because like I don't want you guys looking at me, as far as the votes go. So like while I wanted to work with Ryan, even though we've had a rocky relationship in games, like it just wasn't gonna happen. Like all eyes were on Ryan, like the crosshairs were there. So like I was, of course, I'm just gonna jump on board with that. Like if that's what's gonna be. So I made just every decision I made was what I thought was gonna get me, not necessarily just in the next round, but I actually went with my gut this time. Like in the past that I've played, like I've gone like a lot on emotion. Like if I went just on emotion right now, I think I'd be sitting here with Phill and Corey. But I wanted to play differently because when I go just on emotion, it doesn't work out for me, and I don't get here. So I tried to look at the game from like a gameplay perspective, and I made the choices that I thought would make me sit here, and it worked, and somehow. So I guess that's all I have to say about that for now. But yeah, any questions you have about anything? Oh, sorry, Wonka is like trying to leave, and I messed up his stuff. Okay, Wonka is good now. But yeah, I welcome your questions.
All right. Thanks, Karen. David, kick us off.
I guess for both of you, I want to know like the biggest move that you made that you kind of felt like you took control of something and kind of changed the course of the game.
Start with Jeremy.
Yeah. So my biggest move that I think was definitely when Corey went home from the wheel. I knew that they were going for Austin, and I didn't want that because I wanted to go farther with Austin, And I thought Corey and Phill were bigger targets than Austin. And so I wanted a huge target out. And so I switched my vote at the very last second to you, David. And that's when it all got tied up. And then I had to let the wheel of fate hopefully not land on me, and it did. So.
Yep. I guess my turn. I think first were the votes where Ryan went home or the votes for Ryan because, you know, it was like 2 in a row. And I voted for him both times. Sorry, Ryan. So like going into this, I wasn't all like our tribe strong. I was like, I don't know. Like I knew Phill on the other side. So I was like, I want to work with Phill and Ryan. And I kind of wanted like a season 2 alliance going on with Jeremy, Phill, Ryan, and Corey. And that did kind of come into play. So, however, like there was just so much like fire onto Ryan. There was like nothing I could do about it. So I thought it was better for my game to get rid of him because in the past when I have played with him and stuck with him, I go home first before Ryan does. So that's just how it works. So I trusted my gut this time and was like, all right, let's get rid of him. And then the other time was also what Jeremy said was the vote was for David, but then Phill and Corey came to me and was like, no, let's go Austin. And I was like, oof, I don't know about that because I felt like going with Jeremy and Austin was going to be better for my game and at the end of the day. So I knew it was a big risk to tie that vote, but I followed my gut in that sense and just went for it. And thankfully it worked out. And like, while I wanted to work with Corey, like my end goal, Corey and Phill could not exist in it for me to win, in my mind.
All right, thanks. Congrats to you both.
All right. Hold on. Don't.
Lauren!
I'm sorry, I read something in the production chat and I just couldn't help myself. Okay. Annie, you're up.
Hi guys, congratulations. Nice job. It's been fun kind of learning about your games as people have joined me in the Ponderosa area. There's been a lot of conversation about past relationships and knowledge of past relationships. And as a person who is brand new, I'm hoping that each of you could highlight something that you did in this game where you either had to rely on building a new relationship or had to overcome a previous relationship between 2 other people. Something kind of inside of this game that you did, if that makes sense.
Karen, you can go first.
Okay. The biggest part in that actually, I think, is Austin, because there came a point, like we were together on the same tribe and voted together for a long time, but there came a point where like I had pre-existing relationships, obviously with like Ryan, Phill, and
Wonka.
Yeah, it's like being weird. And like Corey, but like I didn't know Austin, and he seemed to be the target all the time, so that would have been like an easy person to get rid of. But I was trying to look at the big picture, and like I think like the people I had pre-existing relationships with, I think were really good players. So like I tried to use those relationships to get forward to a certain extent, but I knew that it couldn't go past a certain point because I feel like there's no way I'd win against Corey and Phill. So the way that things happen, like I wanted them to happen that way, and it did. And I'm sorry, but I don't think there's any way I could sit next to either one of those people and have a chance at winning. So I tried to foster the tribe relationship and the season 2 pre-existing relationship with Jeremy, even though we never played together and never talked in that season. that was still something I could work with. And at a certain point, we came up with like a final 3 and we stuck to it.
Jeremy?
All right. Yeah. So people who know me outside of playing these kind of games know that like I hate change. And so right when I saw people like Corey, Phill, and Karen, who I've already played with before, even though Karen and I really didn't get to play with each other, my mind immediately went to, okay, let me go straight to those people. But right when the game started, I was actually put into a group with Austin and Nick. And I thought this was a great opportunity for me to actually get out of my comfort zone and build those new relationships, because I need people who I've never played with to get me farther in this game. And with Corey and Phill, I knew exactly how their games worked. And I knew what they were capable of. And I knew that I could use them for a point in time and then able to take them out when I needed to. And so I had a little bit of both, with budding new relationships and then using my old relationships to get me far, and then making sure that I got farther than them.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Annie.
All right, Corey.
Hey, y'all. Hey, congratulations to the both of you. You both played really, really, really great games. I've just been so excited in the Ponderosa room talking about you two. But I wanted to know 2 things. One, when did the alliance with the 3-person alliance with Austin, when did that form? Because I'm really curious when your final 3 formed with because we talked about a final 4, and obviously that wasn't the real plan for you two. But when did that start? And then I wanted to commend the 2 of you for the balls that you both had to do that rock draw against me. You both had a 66% chance of getting out and a 33% chance of the intended target going home, and you nailed it. So, but yeah, when did the alliance with Austin start?
That started whenever you went home, right before you went home.
Yeah, I would say what it was like 5 or 6.
And one more question. That was which did one of the 2 of you suggest to the other one that this is what we should do together, or did you 2 come up with that together? Like, whose idea was that?
Yeah, so Karen and I were in a scramble room together, and I had brought up like, what are your end plans? Because at that point, I was trying to get myself to the end and see who I wanted to get to the end with. And so that's when I approached Karen. We were just the 2 of us. And then Austin came in right after. And then we solidified it right then.
Yeah, like in my mind, I can't say that like I was the one who came up with it, and I don't know that Jeremy can say he's the one who came up with it. It like really just kind of came together. Like we all 3 landed in a room, and at that point it was, I think, what, Corey and Phill left and David probably. And I knew I wasn't going to win with Corey and Phill, and I think that Jeremy knew that too, and all eyes were on Austin at that point and David. So it just like made sense for the 3 of us to be like,
and
well,
that was something the 2 of you knew going into that rock draw, was you wanted me to be the one out. So you guys did
not
all
necessarily that. You, but I knew that I wanted to be final 3 with Austin and Jeremy.
Yeah,
okay.
So how it went down was we were trying to plan, because we all thought that David was going to go home within that vote. And so we were trying to plan for the next vote. But then we both caught wind that Phill was going after Austin. And I don't think we actually knew after the vote happened, like after Corey went home, we actually didn't know that both of us flipped until after.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
What do you mean both of us flipped?
So because Corey and Phill were like, okay, we need to vote Austin. And then I got pulled into a confessional, but then I was like, oh, I don't want to vote Austin. And so I was just going to do David like what we originally did. And then that's how it came to be. It was the tie vote.
Okay. Because like I knew you and Austin were voting David, and then I thought that Phill and Corey were going to vote David. But then I went into a room like very shortly before everything ended, and Phill and Corey, well, mostly Phill was like, it's got to be Austin. And I was like, does it? And then I remember asking, like, do you feel strongly about this? And he said, yes. And then that's when I made the decision whether or not I was going to tie the vote or to follow the majority. And I took the risk to tie the vote. And it thankfully worked out in my favor. But yeah.
Well, good job to you both. Congratulations.
Thanks, Corey.
Carlo.
Well, congratulations to you both. Obviously, you did what 10 of us could have not done. So it was a hell of a ride, and that was basically nice. I'm wondering, which person do you see instead of you sitting in final two, and why?
Jeremy.
So that was, which other person do we see sitting next to us that is not the person sitting next to us now?
Correct. Like, I guess that you guys had a lot of people that knew each other. I came in as a new player, not knowing basically anyone. I knew a little bit Lauren and a tiny bit Karen, but that was not like sustainable and stuff. Like, and I get that like things went the way they went, but who do you see instead of you, and why?
Okay, so like me, I'm not sitting in final two.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm choosing another person. I would definitely say, I think I could definitely see Corey sitting in the final two. Kind of like what David was saying earlier. He was calling a lot of shots. He was pulling people into scramble rooms here and there. And I thought he played a really, really great game. I think he definitely elevated his game from the last time that he played. And he had to adapt to a lot of things. But I think he was definitely such a huge threat that no one kind of wanted to sit with him at the end because they knew he could possibly beat them.
Karen?
I would have to say either Corey or Phill, which like, well, we definitely had an alliance and were working together for a lot of the game. I just knew a final 3 or 2 with either one of you guys was third place for me.
That makes sense. Again, congratulations. And yes, the second rock draw was a very great move. Like, that was very stunning.
Thanks, Carlo.
Thanks, Carlo. All right, Phill.
How's it going, guys? The one thing that stuck out to me is when I went to talk to each of you after the fact, and Karen was the one that was honest with me and basically said to me that I'm just doing what's best for my game instead of wanting to work with people that I like, and that was, and I definitely respect that, So, I mean, my question has already been, Corey obviously already went with what I was going to ask, that you guys didn't necessarily plan it together, but you kind of ended up doing everything together, and your games were pretty much similar. But, I mean, to me, that was the biggest difference. You guys both played great games. I wish I really had a question, but I really don't, because my questions were already answered. But congratulations to you both, and good luck to you both.
All right. Thanks, Phill. Austin.
Hey, guys. Oh, man. What a ride. Like, this was crazy. As I'm nursing a giant headache right now from this whole process. I have a very simple question and answer to your extents. Who did you learn from the most in this game, and why?
Karen, you can go first.
I have to say Ryan, which may sound weird, but I've played with Ryan enough that I kind of like Ryan's good at these games, but he's good enough that all eyes are on him. But I don't know. Like we played a couple games together, and our last game that we played together, there we had a lot of discussions about emotional decisions versus strategic decisions, and I tried to apply the things I learned from those conversations with him to this game, and applying the things that we talked about. I'm here. And he's not, so that was also kind of part of it. I mean,
Jeremy.
I would say the person I have learned from in this game is actually someone who's not here, and it was Nick. And while he was here, he was pretty like outgoing and pretty vocal, and I think at that point I knew I had to take some of what he was bringing to the game and make it my own. And so actually after he was he also, yeah, he was rocked out too. And so I was like, okay, he's gone. He was a person that I was closer aligned to. And so let me kind of take his personal traits a little bit and twist it and make it to my own, where I can start conversing with people, making those connections and those alliances to help me get further in the game, which is a complete 180 from what I did the last time.
Thank you both. Like I said, this is crazy, and I wish nothing but the best for both of you. So,
thanks, Austin.
Thanks, Austin. Ryan, wrap us up.
All right. Man, good job, guys. I'm going to start with, we've talked a lot about previous relationships, you know, and I'm trying to decide while listening to all this, like, for some people, I think even if you know people, and I think Karen's kind of proven this, like, I knew people, but I think I actually had a disadvantage with that because I voted her out, right? So it's like some people know people and it's an advantage. So I'm trying to kind of figure out whether it was an advantage for you or a disadvantage having a couple friends. But I'm going to start with Jeremy, and I want to know if we had the exact same game, same 12 people, but nobody knew or watched anybody play, what would you have had to change to still get to the end?
I definitely would have had to ramp up my social game right from the very beginning. And so I'm definitely not a talker at first. I have to get used to people. And so definitely having a few connections out, from previous things definitely helped. But if it was all completely brand new, I'd have to go right out of the gate, start conversing with people, and making those initial connections faster.
Okay. I mean, I think you played a great game, man. All right, Karen, you were a liar, you were a manipulator, a trickster, borderline evil, a backstabber, and I fucking love it. I love it. So, and it's amazing. Now you've made it very clear I've known you, but I'm doing my best, and I know Jeremy not as well, but I do know Jeremy too, to just vote based on this game, right? So I want to know from you, what was your most ruthless move you did, and especially if it's against somebody you considered a friend before this game?
It would have to be between you and Phill. I felt less bad about Phill because it was at least at like 5, you know, but but still, I mean.
What did you do? Just voting him out, or did you like say anything to him before the vote that was like really deceiving?
I guess that's a question for Phill. Phill, did you know I was voting for you? I don't know. I never told Phill Phill that I wasn't voting for him, but I don't know how he perceived that situation.
You told me without telling me, pretty much.
Okay. As I say, I didn't feel like I really deceived you. You could have figured it out.
Aaron, don't get soft on me now. I know you did something worse. Come on, tell me I want to. This is my vote. I want to know. You really did something to somebody. Come on, not me. We knew you were going to go for me. Did you say anything? Did you lie to anybody else? I don't know. I'm not like implying that.
Sorry,
I know.
I'm just like looking at the room and trying to like see when I'm not going to say I didn't lie to people. But so I don't know.
Who did you lie to really bad that you're like really good friends with?
Did I lie? I don't know. I mean, I knew I didn't want to go to the end with Corey. Like, did I know he was going to go home in a rock draw? Did I? No, but did I know I was voting against him in that vote? Absolutely. Like, so I guess maybe like the Corey and Phill alliance that seemed closer than it was. Because I feel like you two felt like we were, I don't know, did you guys feel like we were a final three type of thing? Or I don't know what you guys' plans were, but.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking Corey and Phill that actually. I mean, I try not to like be, like when I go into things, I'm not like, oh, I need to like come up with like this whole scenario to deceive this person. Like, that's just not how I roll. Like, if I can lie with a part of truth to it, that's easier for me to do.
Word with that. I mean, I think some people lie just to lie for no reason at all. But
yeah,
like,
no, that's, I mean, there has to be an element of truth in my lie for me to do it, I think.
I don't get why people lie just like to enjoy lying. But you just spoke about how you said that you learned from me about not doing things with emotion. So like, I'm more asking like what was the situation where maybe you just like, 2 months ago you would have done this.
Okay. Today. So I wouldn't have voted Phill out 2 months ago.
Okay. Just because you know him.
Yeah, just because I know him and I like him. And
but today you were like, who's gonna win this game? And I want to vote out Phill.
Gotta go.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm good.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Thank you, jury, for your very interesting questions. Jeremy and Karen, you are going to end with closing statements. Make them short and sweet if you can. All right. Jeremy, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, it was great playing with all of you guys. I just wanted to say, some of the things that I did accomplish is I did win 2 individual immunities, and I actually did not have a single vote against me this entire season. And, I did lie and backstab, which is something that I normally don't do. And I actually think I had a lot of final deals with the majority of the jury. But I was able to keep the majority under control and get myself to the end and convinced Karen to take me. And I would really appreciate your vote tonight. And I think everyone here played a great game.
Thanks, Jeremy. Karen?
Okay, well, I have obviously enjoyed this game more than others that I've played. But I just finally, for once, like trusted my instinct on all the votes. Normally I play a lot with emotion, and it really, really does not work out for me. So I really, really tried to do that differently. And when I saw like the opportunity to go with Austin and Jeremy, I was like, this is it. Like, that's what I should do. Just because that made the most sense. So I always try to do the thing that I thought made more sense for my game. And I don't know, like a lot of decisions were well thought out. Like, yeah, there were immunities that I tried to win that I didn't, but there were also ones where if I fell, oh well. because I didn't want the eyes off of me. So like a lot of decisions were thought out, and I don't know. I'm happy with the game that I played. I mean, Jeremy, Austin, you guys both played great games too. But I don't know. I hope your vote comes my way. But yeah, no, it was fun.
All right. Thanks, Karen. Jury, you're now going to make an important decision. Tonight, you're voting for a winner. And with that, we are going to get to our final vote.
I think both players played a great game. I think I'm just really going to go off of who I felt like articulated and owned their game the best. And with that, I am voting for Jeremy.
I'm so proud of the both of you. But I am so proud of you, Karen. You played a kick-ass game. And there was one answer you gave that really just sealed the deal for you. And that was that you did that rock draw on purpose. It took some balls, and I love it.
So my vote for the winner is going to come based on one move and one move only. When I was thinking about who I wanted to vote for, I was thinking about the big moves made in the game, and obviously my question about pre-existing relationships. And from what I could tell from their answers, they were both so similar on both of those areas. The only reason this person is getting my vote is it seemed like she was in control of the rock draw more than the other. So I am voting for Karen.
All right. You said that I helped you stop making such emotional decisions. But the ironic part is, I think if I voted for you, it says Jeremy, if I voted for you, that might be an emotional decision on my part. So I'm going to go Jeremy. Both played great games. I think he edged you just a little bit.
All right. We ready to find out who wins?
Do it.
Do it. I have the votes. First vote. Karen. Jeremy. Jeremy. That's 2 votes Karen, 2 votes Jeremy. Karen. Jeremy. 3 votes Karen, 3 votes Jeremy, 1 vote left.
Wow.
The winner of the first mini here on Chaos Games, Karen.
Congratulations, Karen.
Congrats, Karen.
Great game.